Hello, Dense MC here with another Charlie's Angels summary and review. Broadcast on January 11th, 1978, Hours of Desperation is the 17th episode of the second season. A complex diamond heist gets pulled off with only one hitch: betrayal from one of the thieves. Desperate for recovery of their loot, the remaining thieves go to the Townsend office to elicit the Angels' help. To motivate them, one of the thieves locks a bomb onto Sabrina, and it's a race against time and nerves for Kelly and Chris. This episode features Stanley Camel as electronics expert Dinsmore, Tom Clancy as senior thief Williams, and Edward Power as thief Clint Murdoch. Power appeared as a different character in the first season episode The Mexican Connection. Also in this episode is John Quaid as corrupt security guard Lester Brown, Peter Palmer as accomplice security guard Fred Michaels, and Paul Sorensen as fence Earl Jackson. Interesting scene of the episode is near the beginning where Bosley and Charlie would normally brief the Angels on the case. Here, the Angels come into the office laughing and joking with each other before realizing potential clients are already in the room. Their jovial mood turns to horror as the supposed clients pull guns on them. Now the only one in the room with a smile on his face is the man explaining how his explosive device works. It really sets the tone for the rest of the episode. Interesting quote of the episode is when Chris, posing as a singer needing a sponsor, tracks down security guard Michaels at a bar, and he wonders how she found him. Chris explains, "Oh, Mr. Murdoch called you one time from my apartment so that your number was on my bill. So I used that number to get your address, and then your landlady told me I could find you here." Michaels jokes in response, "When you quit singing, you can go work for the CIA." While it's an interesting explanation, it's also so full of specifics, it doesn't feel like she made it up on the spot. Interesting goof of the episode, at around the 37-minute, 36-second mark, when Chris and Kelly leave the cabin, someone off camera throws something down along their path. Very odd. Three jewel thieves, Dinsmore, Murdoch, and Williams, rob a warehouse full of diamonds in broad daylight with the help of two of its security guards. During the getaway, Murdoch impulsively grabs the loot and jumps out of the car. Dinsmore shoots at his fleeing accomplice but loses him in the suburban backstreets. Having been shot in the back, Murdoch checks himself into a hospital, while Dinsmore and Williams go to the Townsend office to force the Angels to help find him or the diamonds. Dinsmore puts his explosive belt on Sabrina and gives Kelly and Chris 10 hours to solve their case before boom. The amount of time Dinsmore gives is arbitrary, not the result of any timing device, as he has a remote control for the belt detonator. The Angels find the hospital, but he slips away, but not before getting Murdoch's fence's name and number. It's not shown how Kelly and Chris track down the two security guards. You'd think that they'd be in police custody or at least house arrest, given how obvious inside help was needed to pull off this heist, but whatever. Kelly puts pressure on security guard Brown, pretending her sister is pregnant with Murdoch's baby. Meanwhile, Chris puts pressure on security guard Michaels, pretending to be a singer whose contracts are in the now missing Murdoch's hands. Almost fooled, he receives a phone call from Murdoch, who tells him that the lady is a fraud, and so is the one Kelly put forth to Brown. With the pretense of taking her to meet Murdoch, Chris takes a ride with Michaels but arrives at Brown's house instead, which Kelly is already staking out. Seeing her friend in trouble, she tries to help, but winds up getting briefly captured too, before turning the tables on both of them. The two security guards lead them to Murdoch's cabin hiding place, but find him dead and his room turned inside out. Clearly the fence found Murdoch in a vulnerable state, killed him, and made off with the diamonds. Chris and Kelly leave the two security guards locked in the cabin for the police, but time is now running out. They come up with a devious plan to not only stall for time, but get Dinsmore away from the office and potentially away from Sabrina. They leave hints that Chris has potentially betrayed her fellow Angels, found Murdoch on her own, and teamed up with him to share the diamonds and flee. Unhinged by the news, Dinsmore takes the bait and races to Charlie's fake private airport. Sabrina just happens to know a shortcut to. On their way there, Chris and Kelly hurriedly set up roadblocks to steer the approaching thieves into their trap. Not sure where Chris got giant detour signs from on short notice, but whatever. Dinsmore and Williams' car is boxed in by what appears at first to be a truck with axle problems, but it's really Kelly waiting to catch whoever got out to help. Sabrina takes the opportunity to get out of the car and jump into a nearby lake, betting that the electronic signal can't travel underwater. Dinsmore tries to use his remote to blow up Sabrina's belt, but it really doesn't work while she's submerged. Back at the office, Sabrina is suffering from a cold when Charlie calls to fill them in on the details. Earl Jackson, the fence, made it all the way to southern France with the diamonds before being caught by Interpol, thanks to the description given by Charlie and the Angels. This is a case where life imitates art, when the whole bomb attached to a person is eerily similar to the real-life 2003 case of Brian Wells. True crime fans would probably know this one, but pizza delivery man Brian Wells, allegedly, had a bomb placed around his neck and was ordered to rob a bank. There is much more to the story than that, and it gets a bit grisly, so be forewarned if you want to look that up. This was really a good straightforward crime thriller style episode with some genuinely nice work done by the Angels, such as how Kelly locks the security guards in the bathroom. Another is during the trap set for Dinsmore, a subtle hint given over the phone so Sabrina can figure it out and play along while being overheard. Bosley didn't have much to do in this episode, but at least he was in comic relief. IMDb gave this episode a 7.6 out of 10, and I'll agree, it's above average, and should be bumped up to a 7.8. Good morning, Charlie.